Okay, today is the 18th of June, 2026, and we've got another spectacular day to be trading. Going to do an MES chart review from the day, and we'll start with the context going into the day. So, same place we've been the last few days, pretty much. Here on the daily chart, we had this big bull trend the last several months going on. Broke that, most likely break out into a trading range, not going to break out typically and reverse this full bull trend here. So established a bottom and a top here. We have tested the top. Now possibly slowly coming back down. Yesterday was a sell-off that closed near its low, testing the MA. So could get a bounce off that MA, slight pullback before getting a second and third leg down to test into the bottom of the trading range. So today opened with a relatively big gap up from yesterday's close all the way up to there. What is that? About 80 points. So pretty big, almost about half a day's range right now. We have a pretty big day's range. Right now the ATR is somewhere, between 120 and 130 over the last several days. So pretty decent sized gap up. Larger the gap, less likely to close. Opened up here near the top of this trend line / bear channel that we've got going on the hourly, and proceeded to sell off pretty strongly. One pretty strong bar, but again, risk reward is actually usually I'd say not great, and I don't trade the open that often. So in fact, by not that often, I mean I don't trade the any time in the first 8 bars. But up at the top of this channel, this actually is a pretty decent sell bar. And 2 is really good follow through. And so after bars 1 and 2, you're possibly thinking bear trend from the open and possibly could go down and test and close this gap, or at least come down here and test the MA. 3, another good follow through bar. And then 4 comes in here. And at this point, that's possibly bears who sold the open taking profits, because there's not much that you see here. You could maybe say this is a key level where we tested 61 here, 68 in here. This maybe is a breakout area that broke out from yesterday, now came and opened above it, retesting that as a bottom of a range. So one could argue that, but probably thinking initially, this is the trend and try to sell on a pullback of the trend line. And then 4 breaks that. 5 tries to retest, because you'd think 3 strong bear bars like this in a row should get a second leg. And it's about, 70% of the time you get a second leg, 70 to 80% of the time. But this time, second leg fails on 6. Another bull reversal bar with not great follow through. So you're probably still not sure yet here, but if anything, you're thinking failed to resume the trend, possibly trading range for a few bars. Then you get 8, strong follow through for 6 and 7, testing the top. 80% of breakouts fail. This is only the 1, 2, third push in this trading range, this small trading range here. So also likely to fail. Finds sellers above 5, sells off on 9, but still trading range 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 pushes down. So still probably buyers down here for a 5th push. 10, big old bar. And now it's starting to look possibly like an expanding triangle on a smaller time frame here with these lows and these highs, or even maybe back to here. So a lot of stuff that could be going on. In any case, at this point, at least this morning, what I was thinking was hallmark of a trading range, big downs, big ups, confusion, a lot of overlapping bars, tails on the top and bottom of these ranges, probably a trading range. So in a trading range, 10 big bar, breakout fails. 12, another big bar, breakout fails below. So starting to channel at this point, you might be thinking something like that, possibly after 11, 12, and 13. So with that in mind, maybe even after 10, you could say, 6 to 10 low, bottom of the channel. And it would be something more like that. And so could find buyers down here near the 10 low, near the MA. And so reasonable, possibly for limit order traders to scalp under there, maybe on a test of a retest of the 9 low or retest near the 10 low, or off that trend line, maybe a few ticks up. Obviously, it'd have to be a few ticks up if you wanted to get filled. Anyway, just ideas thrown out there. 13, 14, good follow through. 15, pullback. 16, good follow through. 17, bad follow through of 16. 18, typically the reversal area in the morning's range. And, not a good buy signal bar, big tail on top, unable to close above 17. Doesn't even test this 16 high, 57.50, 75. Yeah. So wasn't able to get a tick above 16 high. So which means there's sellers right at this high. They don't want to trigger the 16 high. Sellers just above 17. And this, a typical sell signal can be an inside bar after 3 legs up for the opposite direction, especially after this leg one here on the 15-minute. You're thinking that it should get a second leg. Initially, it failed. If it is a trading range, second legs can get delayed, possibly for a while. And so this would be, if it's bar 3, now bar 18, an hour delay in the second leg. So possible pullback, 3-legged wedge pullback, bear flag. Is it reasonable to sell? Maybe for somebody. I was too confused at this point. Didn't do anything. 19, not the greatest follow through, possibly trapping though some bulls who are buying 18 low. 20, inside bar. Again, more confusion there. Probably sellers above and buyers below. Find sellers above 20 and above 19. Possibly bulls being able to get out up here for those who did get stuck. And creates a stronger sell signal, 21. So this is probably where it became reasonable to say, okay, could sell this bar for a scalp down. Then didn't have this line drawn in yet. This is for later. But then you get, if you're counting legs here, 1, pause, 2, pause, 3, and another inside bar, and then a buy signal, 28. Possible reversal bar here. If you're looking at it like this, you're saying, okay, if this is a trading range, first leg, second leg failed on smaller time frame, delayed second leg, not a super strong one, a lot of tails, a lot of bar overlap, definitely different than leg 1. If this is the second leg, then this also could get a second leg, and maybe it's coming in right now. So that would be a thought process for it. Your risk reward is not too bad, actually, because your post 3 legs down. If you want to you could do a stop just below the bar. And if you wanted to get 2R, you'd have to go out pretty far. You'd have to hold on for a little bit longer, but could have got it. Wouldn't have had to test, would have tested the top of the range first. So possibly profit taking there. And you can see that's probably what this was profit taking at the test of the 18 high. But anyway, it's a good looking buy signal bar below MA. So that's less of a good sign, but it's after 3 legs down and a pretty weak and confusing 3 legs down and post second leg on in the trading range. So if you know it's a trading range, or if you think it's a trading range, you buy low, you sell high, and you scalp. 1, 2, 3, fourth push, probably fine to keep trading. After this was when I thought, okay, maybe this is a triangle day, and that's when I drew this upper line, but I obviously not off here. I drew it off this 18 high, thinking that the apex was going to be a little tighter. Didn't end up quite being like this. More like that today. Anyway, so after 28, 29, good follow through. 30, okay. Testing the hourly MA, so likely to get some confusion here with possible selling at the hourly MA, but also after the strong 3 bars here, possibly time for a pullback. Get 1, pullback, 2, pause, 3 on the 5-minute. And then bar 40 area here. So 39, we're in the bar 40 area, typically where reversal is. Top of the trading range. Could be thinking, all right, it's a trading range, could be a triangle. Testing the top, 3 legs up, buy signal, or sell signal rather. Reasonable sell. And if you did, 40, probably not the greatest follow through, and you're looking to get, either way, you'd be looking to get out above any strong buy signal bar. 41, good sell, test the MA. 42 comes in. If you sold here, you're probably going to want to get out above 42. Or at least I would think. This was probably a reasonable sell. Yeah, but 42, high 1 buy at the MA for a higher time frame second leg. So if you're looking at the 15-minute over here, you're thinking leg 1, pause, leg 2 for this. Leg 1, pullback, pause, leg 2. And even on the 5-minute, if this was 3 legs, then this should get a second leg if it's a decently sized pullback. If it fails, though, could get a measured move up, and didn't quite get there. Maybe we got this measured move. So a couple ways to look at it. But also, if it's a trading range, weird things happen. Second legs get delayed. Second legs fail. Yeah, so there we go. Anyway, 42, decent buy signal. So if you were short, probably get out above, or maybe even reverse to get a scalp up to here. And this was a pretty strong second leg for this, and you might even think on the 5-minute, if this was failing the second leg of this, then 1, could get a measure move up, and 2, this is pretty strong, should get its own little second leg. 47 comes in, possibly just profit taking. Anybody who missed this might be buying underneath 47 for a second leg. They get 48, not a super strong buy signal, and they're going to look to get out at a test to break even, most likely, or under any sell signal. 49, not great follow through, retests the high and fails to get continuation above that. And 50 comes in, showing some selling strength, possibly trapping any bulls buying under 49 as well. So you could see that tested back up to here. Didn't quite. See, this low is 72.75 and this high 72.25. So it came within 2 ticks of retesting this. So anybody who was stuck in trying to buy underneath 49, They weren't able to get out here on 51. If they held, they had probably scaled in down here at the MA, possibly, and might have got out here on 51, where this retested this. Or they just got screwed and they sold where they could at this close and led to this next series of bars down. And that's also what you're seeing here with this 53 test of 49 low, is any of those trapped buyers under here taking this opportunity to get out, and more bears who missed this sell-off taking this opportunity to get in. So 1, pullback, 2, pullback, 3 on the 5-minute. Get 2 small legs for bulls and another leg down for bears. You can also count it like this was the break of the trend, retest, failed, 1, pullback, 2, pullback, and third leg. Another weird thing, if today was, it felt like these third legs were pretty strong throughout the day. Like this is a third leg in this. Maybe you want to call it a second leg. I think it's more of a third leg. I think it's 1, pullback, 2, pullback, 3. And this got this measured move down. Might even say that far. But you usually want to stay away from third legs, and in a trading range, it's the market's trying to find a way to trap you in on these third legs, get you to sell, get you to buy at the high, get you to sell at the low, thinking it's going to break out and then fail. So just when you're starting to think it's strongest, 65, it's a good looking buy signal, but it's third leg. 66, good follow through. 67, even better follow through. Good sell there. Inside bar, pause bar, not a great sign. A little gap down on the open of 69. You're thinking strong selling there. Tail on the bottom, so that's a bad sign there. Found buyers under the 29 low. And then 70 comes in. So anybody who was sold this close or tried to sell down here just got screwed. So anyway, and then 70 inside bar after 3 legs down, buy signal. Could buy that close, could buy just above it, could buy when it comes to pullback and test for anybody who gets trapped. And then into the end of the day, closed, potentially trying to break out of this triangle after finally having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and on its 6th push. Reasonable scalps today. I'd say, as we talked about before, this was probably reasonable sell for trying to get a swing down to the bottom of the range, even though it failed. Still possibly reasonable. This bar 70 after 3 legs down, also fairly reasonable. Some limit order traders like to buy the retest of the lows or the opens of big bars like this, since so many people miss out on this move. I think there's eager traders to get back in at that price level for another attempt. And yeah, that's all I got. This was a little bit too crazy, I think, to trade, too confusing, too many tails, too much overlap. But that's all I got for today. That's the end of the week. Hopefully you had a great week out there trading. I did not, but still a lot of fun, still learning stuff. Thank you very much.